Hey, what's up guys? mltmagictricks here, and in today's video, I'm going to be putting together Paul Gertner's card trick that he did on his third appearance on the show Penn and Teller Fool Us. This was a very cool card trick, and I will be leaving the link in the description to his performance if you have not seen that already. But really quickly, before we get into this reveal, if you are new here to my channel, make sure you do subscribe for more card and magic trick videos like this. And guys, we are coming up on the 50,000 subscriber milestone, and once we hit that milestone, I will be having a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway that will be taking place on my channel. So once again, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe, and now let's get right into this reveal. Alright guys, so throughout this reveal, I'm going to be using screenshots and clips from Paul's performance to basically be used as evidence to back up the claims I'm making, and everything I explain in this video is by no means 100% correct. This is my theory based off his performance, and like I said, I'm going to be, taking some screenshots and clips from his act to help back up the claims that I make throughout this reveal video. But let's get right into it. So Paul starts off by having his 5 spectators each make a selection from the deck. These were in fact completely free selections. He was not forcing any of these cards onto his spectators. So once each spectator, took their card, they looked at it and everything, he started inserting the cards one at a time into the deck. But really, before I explain, what he does with these cards here, I'm just going to talk about a gimmick that Paul is also going to be using in his trick in order to pull off the effect, especially the end when he, shows the royal straight flush in spades. So basically, he's going to have these cards, but they're going to be on the table the entire time. And I'm going to touch on this just a little bit later in this video once we get to the part of the trick, where he actually shows the royal flush at the end. So just keep in mind here, guys, he's going to be using 5 cards, and they are going to be gimmicked cards, and they are going to be on the table the entire time. So like I said, I'll get to that in a little bit, but let's get right back on track to what Paul was doing in his performance. So with each spectator holding their cards, he basically takes them one at a time and starts, putting them in the deck. But guys, what he's doing here, he is controlling each card to the bottom of the deck one at a time. So basically, at the end, when each spectator is given their selection to Paul, all the cards are going to be at the bottom of the deck, in order, just like this. So I'm going to talk about some ways that he, could have done that really quickly. So obviously, Paul is a professional magician. He's very experienced. He's great at card handling and that kind of stuff. So there are a lot of ways to control cards to the bottom of the deck, but I'm just going to talk about one really quickly. So you guys will notice he starts, dribbling down cards. He'll go ahead and place the first card in. Then he'll get a break, for example, like a pinky break, just like this, right below the card. And all he has to do here is just cut this bottom portion, just bring that right to the top. And what he's done there is brought that first card, the first selection, to the bottom of the deck. And you guys will notice in his performance, he does in fact, make quite a few cuts when he does this. And let's say, for the second card, what he'll do is he'll basically swing cut about half the deck, or he'll just get a break separating the first selection. But when he takes a second selection, he's going to do the same thing here. He's going to get a pinky break right below, in this case, now the 2 selections, the 3 of hearts and the 10 of clubs. And you guys will notice from his performance, he does do some double undercuts like this. So once you do your double undercut, you've brought those 2 selections now to the bottom of the deck. So he's going to do, something similar here with the next 3. But regardless, guys, he needs to get these selections to the bottom of the deck. So now at this point, with the spectator's 5 cards at the bottom, he goes ahead and places the deck here on the table. And now he starts asking his spectators for how many letters are in their first and last name. And what he's going to do here, guys, is one sleight of hand move called the bottom deal. This was, prevalent in his act and is really necessary for him to pull off this effect. So I'm going to talk about how he uses the bottom deal and basically what the bottom deal is. So you guys will notice he's going to start off by asking the first spectator how many letters are in his or her first and last name, and it was 15. So you guys will notice here he basically starts dealing off cards. Once he gets to, I'll explain what he does once he gets to the 15th card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And instead of dealing the 15th card from the top of the deck, because keep in mind here, guys, this is going to be a random card, what he's going to do instead is deal the bottom card, because keep in mind here, this is going to be that spectator's selection. It's going to be one of the selections from the spectators. And this is called the bottom deal. So it's basically, making it appear that you're dealing off the top card, but in reality, what he's doing here is dealing off the bottom card. And obviously, guys, this is a pretty complex move. It's definitely more towards the advanced side of things, and you need to practice it a lot in order to make it look really clean. And obviously, Paul is a professional magician, so he did make this move look really clean on TV. So basically, guys, this is what it's going to look like. He had the 14 cards here, then the 15th card. He's going to slide this bottom card over a little bit. He's going to act like he's dealing a top card, but in reality, really quickly. He's going to deal that bottom card as the 15th card. Now this spectator selection is going to be at the top here. And guys, check out this clip from his act. I slowed it down right where you can see where he's doing a bottom deal. So go ahead and check this out. So as you guys can see from that clip, he did in fact take the bottom card there, and he's going to repeat this same process for the next 4 piles. So the next spectator's pile had 8 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's not going to deal the 8th card from the top, he's going to deal it from the bottom just like this. So now this spectator's card is going to be on the top of this pile. The next spectator had 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, just like that. Then it was 5 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, the last pile also had 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And keep in mind here, guys, Paul asked the last 2 spectators just for how many letters were in their first name, because keep in mind here, he only has 52 cards. So he needed to have a value that was less than 52, because obviously, you know, he doesn't have more than 52 cards. And so now at this point, guys, this is his setup. He's going to have 5 different piles with the spectator selections on the top of each pile. This is when he, does his reveal. He shows that each spectator, somehow the amount of letters in their name corresponded to where their card was in the deck. So he goes ahead and reveals, each card, and everyone thinks at this point, the trick's over. But he did have his grand finale where he showed he had the royal straight flush in the spades at the bottom of each of these piles. So now I'm going to talk about how the gimmick that I talked about, mentioned at the beginning of the video, ties in to this part of the trick and how it basically allowed him to pull off the ending. So what he's going to have here, guys, is the cards that make up a royal flush, the ace, king, queen, jack, and 10 of spades. And these cards are going to be on his card mat, his table, the entire time. So now you're probably thinking, how does that work? Obviously, when we see them. But the backs of these cards, guys, are going to be made of the same material of his card mat. They're going to be made of a velvet black material. So basically, all these cards are going to be placed face down, just like this, at the beginning of his act. And keep in mind here, since the backs of these cards are going to be the same material as his card mat, they're basically going to blend in. It's kind of like camouflage. We would not be able to see them at all, throughout his performance until he turns them over at the end. So before I, show you guys a piece of evidence that basically, definitively proves he did this, I'm going to talk about where and how, what these cards allowed him to do. So they're going to be at the start here. They're going to be at the bottom of each of these piles, just like this. And when Paul starts, dealing the piles, he's going to have to be careful to where he deals the first card. He's going to need to know, where each of these cards are. So like I said here, guys, he's going to go ahead. The first card he deals, it's going to go right on top of it. And also, Paul did something very smart here in his performance that basically made this trick seem even more impossible. So you guys will notice when he dealt the first card, he showed it to the spectators. He showed it to everyone. He's like, this isn't your card, right? So obviously the 2 of hearts is not going to make up the royal flush. So he showed us the card, and everyone thinks, okay, he's just putting on a random card here. And it just made it seem more impossible at the end when he showed the cards made a royal flush because, obviously he didn't deal those cards originally. So that, I think, is part of the reason why this trick fooled Penn and Teller. They were focused on when Paul turned his back to the audience, and they thought, he loaded the cards into the deck there. But in reality, guys, these cards were on the table the entire time. So like I said, he's going to deal each of these piles just like this. The piles are going to be on after he, shows the spectators' cards were on the top of each pile somehow. But in reality, he used the bottom deal, as I showed you guys earlier. So after the trick, he's going to turn these piles over and show that somehow at the bottom of these piles were the cards that make up a royal straight flush, just like this. But you guys will see here from this screenshot, there is a black border around each of the cards. And what I believe that is, the border there is going to be the velvet, basically, or the material his card mat is made of. We can kind of see it there. Obviously, it wasn't perfectly cut out because we can still see some of the black border around each of the cards. And guys, if we think of this logically here, that would make the most sense because obviously he showed us the first card he dealt down in each pile. In this case, let's say the 2 of hearts. There's no way that the ace of spades would somehow, just get there unless he, snuck it in another way. But considering we can see that black border around that screenshot I just showed you there, it just makes the most sense that there were gimmicked cards involved and they were on the table the entire time. So I hope that makes sense for how the gimmicked cards were used in this trick. And guys, that is basically going to wrap it up for this reveal. I hope everything I explained made sense for you guys. I'm just going to give a quick recap of what Paul did really quickly so you guys completely understand how he did this trick. So Paul started off by having his spectators make 5 different selections. He then controlled each of those cards to the bottom of the deck. And then when he's dealing the amount of letters in each spectator's name, once he gets to the last letter, he's going to instead not deal the top card, he's going to deal the bottom card using the bottom deal move. And if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more in-depth tutorial on how that move works, I'll be leaving a link in the description, and I'll go ahead and put a link on the screen right now so you guys understand how that move works, because this is definitely a trick you guys can do. I mean, with a little bit of practice, this trick is definitely possible, and if you guys perform this trick, it will certainly fool all your spectators. But guys, going back to what Paul did, when he's done dealing all the piles, he shows that the top of each pile somehow had his spectator selections, but in reality, they were basically forced there by using that bottom deal move. And then at the end, he's going to turn over each pile just like this. He's going to reveal the gimmick. He's going to turn the pile over, and then he's going to show the gimmicks that make up the royal straight flush. And that is basically his card trick. I hope everything I explained here made sense for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about my reveal. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm wrong? Just please let me know. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for this reveal video. And just want to make a disclaimer really quickly here. I'm not throwing any disrespect at Paul Gertner by making this video. I have a lot of respect for him. He's an excellent magician. I'm just simply making this video to teach you guys how to perform this trick yourselves if you are ever interested. And like I said, I showed you guys evidence from his act to help back up the claims that I made in this video. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope everything I explained, like I said, makes sense for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. If you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you are new here to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Peace out.